Mr. Primetime.
It's gonna be one of those
One of these
shows.
shows. It's gonna be one of these shows, man.
I already know we're gonna fight tonight, so nothing personal. Just letting you know ahead of time. We're probably gonna fight, but it's all good.
We're gonna fight. Me and you are gonna fight.
Oh, we might. Somebody's gonna fight tonight.
Well, before we get started, we have big news, man. We have very, very big news. So let's start off with the positives.
Good.
Tell everybody about what you're doing with 137.
Yeah, so over the next few months, I'll be writing some editorial for them. So just check it out. My first article went live today. Did an article on the top 10 goalies of all time. So feel free to check it out. It was tough putting my bias. Yes, he is number 4. I was just going to say it was tough putting my bias aside and putting Brodeur in there and not including Henrik Lundqvist, who I wanted to include. But for me, he was just outside the top 10. So go check it out.
You got to go with goalies that win cups. I mean, that's the way you got to do things.
He's got a gold medal, so I took that into consideration. He never really had a whole lot of goal support during his time with the Rangers. I tried to consider that. You know, he had 12 straight 30-win seasons. Tried to factor that in, 6th all-time in wins, but without the cup, it was tough.
So now, where can people find your writing?
137pm.com. Check them out on there. The article's posted on Twitter. It's on my page as well. So give it a read. Let me know.
So you're doing all like what's the content you're doing? Is it all hockey, or are you doing a little bit of everything?
A little bit of everything.
Well, that's
probably
cool.
Do some MMA too, maybe some betting content. So we'll see.
That's great.
Whatever they need.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you, man.
That's cool as hell. And look at this. You already got feedback. Check out the article. Well done.
Thank you, Roman. Appreciate it, man.
Let's see what we got here. Let's start at the beginning. We got the fans on TV look like they were dying for a reason to erupt and go crazy. The stadium was ready. The stadium was ready. It was amped up, 80 degrees, sunny, tuned up. Everybody's ready to go. Firemen had to be chomping at the bit.
And that's why I'm most frustrated, because it feels like in September, especially for a season ticket holder, that we're one game in and we're already talking about the rest of those 7 games probably being almost meaningless. And it's like, how many games, how many seasons are you throwing away your money and just getting nothing back in return?
Yep. And to be honest with you, that's the way I felt last night leaving the game. Was like, not to be a dick, but I was like, I'm so glad I'm not a season ticket holder. Like, I'm glad I'm not a season ticket holder anymore. Like, I'm glad, because like to sit
I ask myself why I am.
Because you sit there and you're like, all right, I get the whole rebuild. Like everybody has to keep reminding us it's a rebuild. We know it's a fucking rebuild. We understand that. But when you spend your time and money, energy to sit there and watch it, and then I had 2 Patriot fans sitting in front of me taunting me.
We had a few in our section too. Yeah.
And then as the game got worse, you know, Jet fans started leaving, Patriots started coming down, and then our whole front section was all Patriot fans just dancing and it's like, how many times we sat in MetLife Stadium getting taunted by opposing fans? And it's like, it just sucks, dude. I'm like, you know what? Like, I love going to games. I love seeing people. I love hanging out with you and everything else. But I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, sometimes it's just not worth it, dude. The whole ride home, I'm like, I hate this.
No,
I hate sitting in traffic. There's no return on your investment.
No, and it's not enjoyable at all. Like there's nothing enjoyable about sitting through that. And like yesterday, for the first time in a while, it actually felt like the fans legitimately showed up. There was a little bit of energy early on. Like they were ready to erupt. We hadn't had football in that building in so long. And 2 interceptions later, like 2 offensive plays later, you know, like we were quiet. We had nothing to get excited about. And the defense, they tried to do everything they could to, you know, get the crowd riled up. They made some plays, but it wasn't enough. And, you know, you're sitting there in the 3rd quarter. You're like, I'm ready to fucking leave. I don't want to sit here and watch another, 20 minutes of this shit.
No, and that's the whole thing. It's like you sit there and, like I said, the crowd, like this is the first time the crowd was, dude, upper level everywhere. It was good crowd, and they were fired up. Like everybody's ready. Like there was chants on the escalator going up. I mean, everybody was into it, man. And it's like you slowly but surely watching it. And like the first interception, I'm like, oh, here we go. And then the second one, I'm like, I give up. I'm like, and it's like, and dude, this is what happens when you're a longtime Jet fan. I'm like, I've seen this show before. I've seen like you
know exactly where it was going. You knew exactly where it was going. I said to Jay after the second one, I'm like, this is the Geno Smith game. It's going to happen. That's pretty much what it was. 4 interceptions. Probably should have been benched, but we didn't have anybody we can go to.
Yep. And that's a whole nother conversation we could have too. But so, I mean, I just posted a video a little while ago, and what bothers me the most is that we you know, being there is different than sitting at home, because you're there. You've invested your entire Sunday being there. A lot of, like I said, a lot of time, money, energy, the ride home, all this other shit. And it's like you leave there so angry and so disappointed. But the one thing that I don't understand is that the whole, same old Jets. And I don't think that's necessarily the case, because there's just, it's a whole, like like the Adam Gase thing was so ridiculously bad.
Yeah.
Like that's one thing. Like I don't walk away saying Coach Sala is like this is gonna be the same old Jets, bad coaching, same old this stuff. I just think they're so far away from being a good team at this point.
Yeah, but leaving the building, it certainly felt like it. Like what we were watching, aside from the fact that yes, it's second year or second game for new coach, quarterback, offensive coordinator, all that. Like sitting there watching it, it didn't feel any different from last year. So
Nope.
again, granted, it's the youngest team in football. You got to give these guys some time. We've got tons of injuries too. I get all the excuses and everything, but there's got to be a certain level of competitiveness that we're playing with. You know what I mean? Like, and especially in the fourth quarter, like that shit reeked of Adam Gase. 10 minutes left. There is no sense. There is no sense of urgency. So you can't give that excuse. We're kicking a field goal to make it a 2-possession game because you weren't playing like it was a potentially 2-possession game.
Nope. And that's dude. That's the excellent point. Phenomenal point. Because I'm sitting there, I'm like, what in the hell are we doing? And the play calling made no sense. The field goal set me off, dude. I'm like, wait a minute. Now you're worried about points? Now the way you just handled yourself for the last 5 minutes?
I even said in my video, like the decision to kick the field goal itself didn't bother me. It was what led up to it. Because you can't treat it like it's a close game and then, go, actually huddle and do all that shit. Like it made zero sense. There was no sense of urgency at all.
Yep.
All brakes, no gas. Like you can't have that motto, the all gas, no brake shit. If that's how you're going to approach it in the fourth quarter, winning's a mindset. That was nothing.
Yeah, that fourth quarter bothered me. I didn't like that at all. I did the field goal pissed me off. I'm gonna be completely honest. The field goal pissed me off to no end. The 3 running plays in a row on the goal line where that shit pissed me off. And the weird thing is, it's like for some people, it's like you can't question the coaching staff. Like it's like I don't understand why, as a fan, like we're just fans, dude. Like I don't get paid $2 million a year to analyze this team. I'm a fan. As a fan, why is it wrong to question Saleh? Why is it wrong to question LaFleur? I mean, everybody wants to shit on Zach Wilson, which he played awful. Probably one of the worst games I've ever seen as a quarterback. But he's not the only one, dude. Like the coaching staff takes some blame here. Like they're like you can question certain things. The handling of Mims, I think, is ridiculous. I think that's all horse shit. But LaFleur's not invincible. And there's 2 other things though. Morgan Moses played pretty well. Could you imagine? They started Fant week 1. They started Fant there. Morgan Moses played well yesterday. So you can't question that. Like, oh, well, then it's like, well, it's a different team, different defense. He still played well. Like, it's just
the entire offensive line played pretty well. There was protection. They were getting some runs on the ground.
He had time. But it's just weird how like certain things, like if you question certain things, you're a negative fan. If you don't say certain things, you're a jerk fan. But I'm like, dude, what are you supposed to do? Like we sat there, we watched it, we're disappointed. He played like shit. We're disappointed. It's not the end of the world. He's not a bust. We're not going to write him off. But you can call it what it is, right? Like at some point, you can just do that.
I think so.
And the funny thing is, we talked about like going into the game. I thought they were going to lose. We talked about it before the game in the parking lot. I'm like, listen, in my heart, I want to win. I think they're going to lose this game. I had no idea they're going to lose that way, though. Like I thought, like the defense. To me, I was more concerned about the defense than the offense. The defense keeps finding a way to hold it. Like the young corners are playing phenomenal. CJ Mosley's playing like an animal. Marcus May's playing well. They're doing enough to keep you in the game. That's all you can ask. Just hold us in the game. Do what you can, right? That's exactly what they're doing. With smoke and mirrors, because you started a new safety, 2 all new linebackers, minus Mosley. And then the offense was just gross.
Yeah, and that was the toughest part. It actually felt like the defense showed up. Marcus May was making plays. CJ Mosley, he was running around. They actually gave you a chance there, and the offense, just kept putting them worst position possible. So, it sucked.
And you made another good point too. And this is something, and this isn't, and I told you so. This is something that I was pretty consistent with the entire offseason, was having a veteran quarterback on the team. And the reason why is because in a game like this, when the kid is overwhelmed, he was a deer in headlights. He was rattled. He was shaking. He was confused. He had no idea what he was doing. And that late pass, the dime he threw late in the game, so what? It means shit to me. Yeah. At some point, you got to cut your loss and say, you know what, kid? Today is not your day. We're going to take you out. If you don't feel comfortable putting Mike White in the game, for whatever reason, he shouldn't be on the team.
Problem is now, what do you do? What if he has another game like this? What if he has 2 games? You don't have anybody that you could turn to. Are you putting Mike White in? I think they would get roasted if they tried to do that. They're not ready for that criticism. And you don't have another veteran. It's not like you brought somebody in a month ago that's groomed, that's ready for this offense. It's like, what are you doing now? They pretty much put all their eggs in the Wilson basket, and they got to live or die with what he does now.
But this, like, to me, you can make a good case that Zach should have been benched yesterday. And it's not.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like,
Well,
it's okay to bench. It's okay to bench your kid if he's overwhelmed, dude, because it's you're preserving him. You're not making things worse.
and that's what it seemed like some people were trying to give a pass to the coaching staff for, like late in the game, like, oh, we're just trying to survive the game. We don't want to, get him beat up anymore. We don't want him to throw any more interceptions. Well, no, that's why you have a backup quarterback that's ready to play, so that you don't have to give up games late.
Like I would have like, and this is like I kept saying it earlier. Like I actually like Josh Johnson. I'd rather have him there. Like just throw him in the game. Like you know what, Zach, it's not your day, man. And then right after the game, Solid comes to me. Listen, he wasn't playing well. We want to just preserve him, keep his confidence high. He's starting next week. There is no controversy.
Yeah.
It's okay to do that. Look what happened with Tua down in Miami. Yeah, he wasn't playing well. You take him out. You put Fitzpatrick in. Whatever it is, dude. Because you know
look what happened both years Darnold was here. When he got hurt and then when he got mono, both times he came back, he played better after he had a chance to sit for a few weeks and actually watch shit. Sometimes that helps.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too, man. Like it's okay to have that. It's it's like all right, because you know what, you want to keep your team competitive, you want to keep your team fighting. If the defense gets to the point where like, listen, this kid's throwing the game away, at some point you're like, dude, what is this kid doing? Yeah. You say, okay, you know what? So let's sit down for a little bit, put somebody else in, just spark team, keep the offense running, let everybody continue to develop. So Moore can continue to develop, everybody else, like your offense continues to flow.
Also get him out of there before he gets booed out of the building too.
Yep. Yeah, and that's the other thing too. It's just that was a big story today with the booing. Like, dude, it doesn't bother me, man. Like, no, so what?
Yeah.
Like, dude, you're sitting there.
Even Wilson said it after the game. He understood it. He understood where it came from the fans. Like, he's a big boy. He gets it.
Yeah, and but it's so weird. Like, oh, now it's like, well, you can't boo him. You can't do this. You can't do that. And it's like, why not? Like, you're sitting there watching horrific football. Like, it is what it is, man. This is life.
You don't want to get booed. Play better. You don't want to get booed. Play better.
Like we're like, and Jet fans, we're tolerant. We've been very tolerant with a lot of things, dude. Like you're willing to watch a lot of things. 1 pick, 6 sacks, this, that. You're like, all right, 4 interceptions and playing like that was horrendous. It was bad. Like, dude, when Gino had that meltdown, I booed the shit out of him. I was like, dude, this is horrendous. It was awful. Sanchez had those games. You had games. You're like, this is awful.
I said to somebody in the comments before on my video, I'm like, we set the bar so low for this year, and somehow in the first few games, we still shot under that. Like, it's amazing. Yeah, there were zero expectations coming into this year. We were just like, compete, don't get your quarterback killed. That's it. Make progress. And this is how we come out. And I'm like,
this game was on Zach Wilson. He'll learn to grow. The defense was good. The running game was good. The O-line was respectable. I had to say, but patience. Great channel, guys. Love the honest content. Daniel, thank you very much. We appreciate it.
That, man.
Definitely appreciate it. And that's the whole thing, Prime Time. Like, this was a winnable game. Like this is a game you walk around like, and you're nailing it. You said, going into the game, my expectations were like, just don't throw the game away, be competitive, smart football, disciplined football. And even like going in, not thinking we're going to win, I walked away angry as shit. Cause I'm like, dude, he's playing terrible. And they're not stopping it. And like nobody, I mean, Corey Davis didn't do him any favors either, but it's just.
No, and Daniel's right. Like, patience is absolutely the right take. That's the logical one. I'm just not in a mood to preach that. Like, we've preached it all off season. We know, like, next week, we're going to be sitting there saying the same thing. We'll be rooting for the team. But like right now, I'm just fucking angry. You sit there, you watch that shit. You spend like you just said, you spend your entire day. You spend money. It's like the best part every year is the tailgate. You enjoy the tailgate, and then you're about to go into that stadium and be miserable for 3 hours. It sucks.
See, and Shaq, be boring or all gas, no break. My thing is this: be competent, be competitive, and when it stops being competitive, change what you're doing or make a change. Like if like as a coaching staff, when your kid's over his head and it's not going to work, you need to just cut. You just need to just cut the cord. Be like, all right, you know what? Today's not your day. We move on, and next week's another day.
Do you also wonder a little bit like how much he was actually tested in practice or in preseason, like to look that bad? Like, he must have not. I mean, I know Belichick is, this master defensive mind. He's going to throw things at you that you've never seen before. I get all that.
He nothing wild though yesterday.
That's what I'm saying. So like,
he was just missing throws, dude. Like he just wasn't. It was nothing fancy, nothing intricate. He just didn't play well, dude. And it's just, and it's a first time coordinator. There's a lot of things. I genuinely think they miss Greg Knapp a lot. May he rest in peace. But I think that's probably a huge blow.
Yep.
But this is, you look at some of the concerns with all this is, and sometimes you worry about, listen, you have a rookie head coach. You almost want a veteran offensive coordinator to kind of offset that. Where somebody's already been there, done that, not learning. Like they have a lot of new pieces. Like I don't think LaFleur is invincible like everybody else seems to do. Everybody wants to bury Zach Wilson and not pin anything on the floor. I don't think he's by no means invincible. it's just a lot of questionable stuff.
No, and dude, that's an excellent point. Like, how many guys on this team right now, from GM to coaching staff to players, are proven? I mean, there are very few guys in
Nobody.
that building that have any kind of proven resume. I mean, we tout Joe Douglas, but I mean, how big of a role did he really play in those organizations? I don't really know. We're kind of going off a reputation with him right now. So as far as the early showings on his draft, not very good. Free agency,
That
same
last
kind of
year's
thing.
draft class, dude. Last year's draft class, this whole Mim shit is a disaster. And
Yep.
and the thing is, and I keep thinking about this. I'm like, and this isn't. I mean, I'll come off negative. I honestly don't give a fuck anymore. I don't really
Get
care.
it off your chest.
If we're
Tonight's the
if
night
we're
to
gonna
do
be
it.
completely honest, is we give Joe Douglas the benefit of doubt with everything, and last year we blame everything on Adam Gase, right? Everything, every move that was made, we find a way to. It's not Joe Douglas. This was a Gase guy. This, that, and everything else. Last year's wide receiver class, that draft class was highly touted, right? How did we walked away? We needed wide receivers desperately. We walked away with what? Perryman, after we let Robbie Anderson go, and Denzel Mims, which Denzel Mims at the time we were all very happy about, but that was it. After this highly touted wide receiver class,
And they
a
traded
year
down.
later,
They traded
right?
down for Mims.
A year later, Perryman's gone, and Mims is becoming a complete like. I get the honest feeling they're going to trade him. They're going to find a way that he's going to be.
I said it last week. I give it 2 more weeks before his agent actually requests a trade and wants out. Like, that's going to happen. Because at this point, I mean, he's looking at it like the organization's just embarrassing his client, calling him a number 6 receiver. Like, if I'm his agent, I'm like, who the fuck are you guys to be saying that? Like, get my guy out of here. We don't want to play here no more. We'll take a chance somewhere else.
And they're slowly but surely tarnishing his image because there's like, oh, he's got to learn this, he's got to do this, he's got to work hard, he's got to outwork this guy,
quote unquote.
And
this guy's better than you, and you're not able to do it right now. Like, I mean, that's,
and this guy does special teams. Now he's now being a gunner is important. Because now they want Denzel Mims to be a contributor on special teams to actually be a good receiver. It's like they find new excuses. And I'm telling you, we first guessed this because this also they brought in, right?
Well, I was just gonna say, in training camp, like the first 2 weeks, I was noticing Denzel Mims. He was working out as a gunner. I'm like, dude, if this guy's supposed to be anywhere in the mix for like top 3 or 4 wideouts, that doesn't make sense. You never see any of the top receivers running special teams as a gunner during training camp early in the year. And for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, he was out there with the gunners when the other receivers were doing other shit. So it said volumes early on. I know they tried to pass the whole thing. Oh, he's working his way back in shape. He had the food poisoning. Yeah. Something else was going on.
So from Brian, here's my frustration. When does this team have expectations every year? Well, it's just about evaluating. Well, Brian, I mean, this year our expectations are just, groom Zach Wilson, get this offense established, get everything moving. The defense with all the injuries, just hold your own, just try to find what you have. But right now the offense has been just less than anything. I mean, it's been last week it was bad. They basically they played 8 quarters, 6 of them have been bad. They played two good quarters of football, right?
But that's what's like frustrating though. Also, like it feels like we have no choice but to kind of just sit back and say the same old trust the process. Like I'm tired of saying it. I don't want to say it anymore. But that's just the reality of the team right now. Youngest team in football, completely new parts across the board. Like I'm so sick of regurgitating that shit. But it's just the reality of where we're at. Like these guys are all going to get a pass for this entire year, pretty much. Next year, maybe Joe Douglas starts to come under fire a little bit, but even then, him, Saleh, Wilson, they're all going to get at least 2 years. So
yeah, no, it's this year. It's like your expectations are lower, but you hit right in the head, prime time. Like we had low expectations going in yesterday, and I still walked out of there angry as shit. Like I'm like that was some of the worst quarterback play I've seen.
I think we went out of our way this offseason to try to set the bar as low as possible, right? Like we knew it probably wasn't going to be a pretty year, but we still expected competitive football. I mean, even Todd Bowles is first. I know he had some veterans. He won 10. Like we go through the list of first-year coaches. They've done pretty well. In this roster, it's not awful. I know we got some injuries, but they got some talent on offense. They got a few playmakers on defense. The defense has been competing so far. We had a running game yesterday. So it just sucks.
They ran for over 150 yards, didn't they?
Yeah.
So the one thing that pissed me off was the clock management in the fourth. The Jets gave up when we were behind 3 scores. I want to go down fighting it behind. The Jets let one play run down to 5 seconds on the clock. Jordan, you're 1,000% right.
I was livid. SJ,
I was out of my mind. Out of my mind. Like it reminded me of Gase. Yeah. I'm like, what is this clock time management? Like, what are we doing?
And that's why I have to think like the only thing that could have been on their mind was we just want to protect Wilson and get out of here. And if that's your mindset, you take him out and you bring somebody else in. Because otherwise you can't sit there as a head coach and preach all gas, no break if that's what you're allowing to happen in the last 10 minutes of a game.
Well, and the locker room is going to start looking at you like, Coach, what are you doing? Like you're preaching all these things, but your words don't, like, especially guys on defense that are fighting their asses off. Like, dude, we're trying our best to keep you in the game, And this is the shit you're giving us in return. And it's early in the season. So now it's like, all right, it's only been 2 games. You keep doing this shit another 3-4 weeks. Like, look, good luck in Denver next week. That's going to be an ass whooping. Yep. So it's like, how long did this team start looking at you sideways? Like, listen, man, pull the kid. He's not playing well. Or, change what you're doing because this approach isn't working. Like coach speak only works so far. You get respect only so far until the things on the field don't match your words off the field. That's the way it works. And I like Saleh. I'm not, and this is not giving up on Zach Wilson. This is just saying where we're at right now. This is early in the process, but there's some issues, man.
You're going to get me started on his press conference today.
Oh, Saleh's?
Yeah.
I
just saw the one quote that said, "We're close on offense."
Oh.
I'm like, it sounds all too familiar. I'm like, I don't need to hear it that we're close. We're getting there. We're almost there. Like, just get there. Just show me with action.
I'm real curious to see if the season keeps going the way it's going right now. What happens at the trade deadline too? Like, how do they handle a lot of these players? Like, what they're going to do because
they're going to be sellers. Crowder will be gone. Maybe even Keelan Cole. Mims will probably be gone too.
Yeah, it's just. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, in my opinion, they're tarnishing Mims by with all these quotes coming out right now in every press conference where it's like, well, basically they're saying he's got to work harder and study harder, and you really can't beat out anybody ahead of him. That's basically what they're saying, right? Yeah. How else can you translate that?
I mean,
that's what they're saying.
No, Saleh last week when he was on the Michael K show, he even came out and he said that game that Mims was the number 4 receiver, and we know that Crowder's ahead of him, and he even said today that Cole's ahead of him. So they're calling him the 6th wideout right now.
Yep, and Jeff Smith's ahead of him because he plays gunner. He's the best gunner on the team.
Yep.
So there you go.
Special teams, baby.
He also didn't re-sign May when I told you guys he's a top 5 safety, but he couldn't show it last year because he had to play center field. May's been playing very well, man. May and Mosley were just on. They played excellent yesterday. There were some really good performances, and the young secondary, the young corners are playing their asses off, dude. They really, really are. I mean, there are some like hidden positives, but the 4 interceptions kind of overshadows all of it.
It's not to take anything away from the secondary; they're definitely playing better than expected. But I do think that whenever we face that, that legitimate quarterback, they're still going to struggle. I mean, we still haven't really been tested. I think against like some of the better competition out there. So.
I thought the play calling was from Neil. I thought the play calling was questionable. The 1st and 2, they ran for 8 yards on 1st. Instead of establishing the run, we pass it and gets picked. Run the ball to establish the play action pass. I mean, that's.
You also wonder how much they might have like abandoned whatever the game plan was after the first 2 interceptions. I mean,
yep. You got to start adjusting. Like, oh shit, this is one of these things.
Yeah.
One of these days. What do you think of Croft? I mean,
what do you have, like 1 catch, 2 catches?
I don't think of much. There's not.
I don't think much of any of our tight ends right now.
From balls, Zach should have been out after the 3rd interception. I wouldn't have been mad about it, dude. And I think, and the one thing is, you can't be scared to make a move in fear of public backlash or what the media says. I would have been fine with it. 3 interceptions, not your day, man. Take them out. Next week's a new day, and that's it. And like I said, if you're scared to put Mike White in, or he's not, then he shouldn't be your backup quarterback. Like, play the kid, play him, dude. You never know what could happen, man. But and you're saving the confidence of Wilson. You could probably save him a 4th interception, save him getting booed out of the building, save all this other nonsense as well.
I don't think they ever anticipated being in that scenario where they would have to actually put in a backup. I actually think they felt like going into the season, like, all right, this kid's legit. We're going to be able to protect him. Like, there's no worries at all. Like, we don't have to worry about backup at all. Otherwise, they had the money. Why not make a move?
From George, it's almost like some coaches just want to keep the game close instead of losing by 30. They'd rather lose by 15 and play it safe and not risk anything. Run, eat some time off the clock. Some coaches are like that, man. I'm trying to save embarrassment, but
yeah. I still think it had less to do with that and trying to make the score look pretty, and more just about getting Wilson out of there alive and not throwing a 5th pick and shit like that, not completely destroying his confidence.
From Vinny, correct me if I'm wrong. Didn't Saleh bring in a coach specifically for clock management? Yes, he did. They have a game analyst or whatever the hell the guy's called. Dude, that shit, I'm telling you. And it's so weird because I was trying. Like, obviously you're mad that Patriot fans are taunting all this stuff, but it's like fundamental, competent football, and you started seeing things. I'm like, what are they doing? And if we're fans sitting in the stands and we could realize it, and you have a staff of like 35 coaches.
I was ready for the
Oh, I'm ready,
bingo board
dude.
yesterday.
Breaking it out on Sunday. We're bringing this shit. The bingo board is back, dude. We're definitely bringing that shit back. It has to come back. We have to, dude. We have no choice now, right?
I think so. I mean, that was the
bingo
only thing that would
board
have entertained me in the second half. I'm like, I have nothing to do right now. I'm used to sitting here at this point, like checking off things on bingo. I got nothing to do right now.
the bingo board's coming back. We have no choice. It's gonna be a long ass season. Jets on the road in Denver versus that defense. I think the spread's already what 11 or 12 or something right now.
Yeah, it's 11.5.
Oh my god! Next
And,
week,
and I think if you get a bingo, you got to light up a joint too for the Mile High game.
it
Only makes
just
sense.
yeah, the bingo board was retired too. Bingo board's coming back. I don't care if that offends some of you. I don't care. This is where the season's going, and this is where it's. Yep. Well, the bingo board will be real creative. Will be all kinds of Mims mentioned. That's gonna be something. Oh god. Oh yeah. Over under for sacks has got to be probably 5.
Oh.
I can't even imagine what they're gonna do. This. I mean, I can't even imagine.
What is your game plan for next week?
Pray. I don't know what you even do because they're gonna try. They're not gonna be able to establish the run next week, and then they're just gonna be running for his life. I don't know what they're gonna do next week, to be honest with you. And that's not even being negative. That's just being what we saw yesterday.
Oh shit!
Salah sounded very clear he wasn't going to bench Zach, and that's fine. That's their choice. You can make an argument they could have, they should have.
I mean, at what point would you draw the line, though? At what point would you have to?
I mean, three interceptions for me was good. I was
What
quite
I'm saying,
comfortable with
like,
that.
At 5, is he still okay putting him out there? At 6, it's still okay. Like at
Pull
some point, there
Fitzpatrick.
has to be like, all right, this doesn't make any sense anymore. Like it's not good for his confidence. You got to pull him. At some point, there has to be a line. So I don't know what it is.
I'm not worried at all about Zach Wilson. Anthony, we're not worried about him. It's part of the process, but yesterday was nothing pretty about that. You can't walk away. I mean, you want to see week in and week out little glimmers of hope, something like kind of development, some growth. Like, all right, I could see some good things. It was just from the beginning was just pure shit. It wasn't good. And like I understand 2 of the 4 interceptions, you could say they weren't his fault. It was terrible football, man.
Yeah.
It's just, oh man, I can't believe I was this mad, and I was
the one that he threw. I think it was to McCourty. Looked like a friggin' punt.
It was a punt,
just sitting back to like a fair catch.
Just like, oh man, it's just Wilson on pace to get sacked 85 times. Well, that's great.
Lovely.
Keelan Cole, I think, was on the field once, right?
Yeah.
I don't understand some of the stuff, dude.
I was gonna say he had no catches, so barely noticed him.
This was something. Can I get into my MetLife fucking rant now? These goddamn clowns. So the Jets are there. They're playing. And the Ada Stadium highlights are focused on Sam Darnold scoring points. So I'm watching Zach Wilson throw interceptions like they're like his best friend. And the Jets are showing Sam Darnold highlights. I'm like, are they trolling us? Because is this real life? All the games in the NFL, that's the highlight you're going to show us? And I paid money to sit here. Like what?
It's like they're actually trying to give you the full blown circus experience. Like we're fucking clowns. Look at us.
I just don't understand the MetLife experience. I hate the stadium to begin with, and after yesterday, I hated it more. But
took 25 minutes to get in. Took 45 minutes to get out. It's ridiculous, dude.
I don't understand why they make everything so complicated. And did I tell you what happened just to get in the parking lot? So the parking lot opens up at 8. Okay.
Yeah.
So we get there at 10 to 8, or right around there, right? Yeah. They put us until you get there. The gate's here. We usually stand in line for the gate. No. Mm-hmm. They route us into a side parking lot and they line us up in rows, right? No idea why. So then when the gates open up, we have to funnel out in this line. But meanwhile, the people that are arriving later are passing right by us. So you actually get punished for being early. So I asked the guy, I'm like, why would you why? What is your reasoning behind this? Like usually the gates are there. Everybody lines up. You open them up. You go in.
What gate did you go in?
The back gate.
Oh, that's
the back gate. Dude, they lined us all up like we were like, I was like, what are we doing?
I was gonna say I got there at like 7:45 and I was the first one at the lot.
Not us, dude. I was just like, MetLife just does not understand how to do it. And then at halftime, I went to get some food, and there was one lady there just completely overwhelmed. I'm like, why don't they have TV back there? She goes, oh, they're all in the middle. I'm like, dude, why don't you have help? It never changes there, man. It's just so poorly. Even getting in with the tickets.
Like, God. I had no service like the first 20 minutes. I couldn't even load my ticket. Finally, luckily, as we got closer, it started to load. But
Like,
I
how
think it
come
took us
every other
25 minutes
stadium you
on
can
that
walk
line.
right in? Bank of America Stadium, we got in so fast. I thought you did something wrong. I'm like,
Concessions
how are
too.
you,
You made like 5 beer runs in the time it probably took you to get one. MetLife.
dude? But dude, literally, remember at Bank of America Stadium, dude, we walked in.
Yeah.
I was like, we're done. Like, this is it.
Nobody even checked our ticket like through the first thing. They're like, just go right. You're good. You're good. Go ahead. You look
It
like you
never.
belong.
Will you guys be streaming the game next week? We
We
could.
should. We should. I mean, if we're doing bingo,
We could.
make it an old
Yeah,
school stream.
that's my only rule, dude. I will only stream it if I can do bingo. If I can't do bingo, I'm out because it's gonna be a long game. I'm gonna be miserable. I'm gonna be angry. I'm gonna deal with some people. I'm sure Sam Darnold will be in the chat causing all kinds of shit. Man, what a day! What a game! This is just what a rough time, man.
What a 2 weeks.
So what else we got here? So Barrios played well. Barrios is like, I can't
7
understand why
catches.
Barrios on the field. Yeah,
He's making plays.
they love Barrios. Let's see. Did you guys get a refund on the way out? We should have, man. That's just
Wish.
they. You know, the funny thing is the Jets are crazy, man. Did you get your survey today in the email? In your email?
No, but I'm gonna
Maybe,
respond now that I know I got something.
yeah. So
Hopefully I did.
Ticketmaster sent me a message saying, "Thank you for attending Jets Patriots. Please comment on our survey about your game experience on Sunday." You know what? I have time for that. I'll actually, no problem. You want feedback? You want my survey? I got you, man. I usually turn those things, but no problem.
Might have to do one too.
I missed the game streams. Well, Sunday we could do it, man. Why not? What the hell?
Yeah, let's throw it back.
Yeah, they sent a survey, man. If anybody bought tickets through Ticketmaster, check your email. I was shocked that they sent that out. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. Jeff Smith is better than Mims. Well, that's interesting, man. That's an interesting. Doesn't say much for Joe Douglas, does it?
Does not. 2nd round draft pick. 1 year later.
Yep. So Elijah Moore finally got some reps. This is true. You know, this is another thing. How long do you think until Michael Carter becomes running back 1? He was pretty good yesterday, man.
He looked good. One of the few positives.
He's an explosive running back. He's got some power behind him. I like the way he plays. He should be. You know, if you're gonna go this full youth movement, let him start, dude. Tevin Coleman only had a few carries, I think, yesterday, right?
Yeah. And again, he's on a 1 year contract. There's no reason to give him all the reps. So let's see what you got in Carter.
Was that the worst rookie quarterback day you've ever seen?
It was up there.
I've seen some bad ones.
Definitely up there.
I mean,
the Gina was what, 3 interceptions in like a quarter or 16 minutes?
Yeah,
or
it was
something
bad
like that,
against Buffalo.
Yeah,
we barely sat down. I was like, "What the hell just happened?" There's been some bad ones. It's up there though, man. It's hard to sugarcoat it. It was some of the worst football I've seen, man.
Greg McElroy wasn't a rookie during his game, right?
Nope. No. Let's see what we got here. There's a good question here. What are your thoughts on the Mims situation? I think there's more to the story, but there's got to be more to the story, dude. There has to be some. It's just they keep talking about work ethic, studying, and that how everybody's doing more than he is, and he's got to outplay guys. And if he's your 6th receiver right now, and he's gonna be inactive every week, it's gonna be a complete lost year for him.
Yeah, I mean, that's why you try and balance also. Like, you know, you want to be able to develop your young players, but at the same time, we talk about culture. Like, is he the right kind of culture fit, or are there things going on that we don't know? It's hard to really have an opinion on it without knowing why he's not playing right now.
Which teams do you think the Jets beat this year on their remaining schedule? This is probably the wrong day to ask, dude. This is the wrong day to ask because our offense is going backwards right now.
Jacksonville, maybe. Falcons,
maybe. They're struggling. The Lions scored again.
Holy shit! Wow.
I mean, this week, like if you want an early preview of my game prediction, it's not going to be pretty. This week could be rough. West Coast, altitude, a hungry Broncos defense in front of that crowd. Good luck.
The Teddy Bridgewater revenge game now.
It's our whole tour. The whole league's having a tour against us. Let's see. Question: would you feel the same if it was an away game and against, say, the Bucks? You're playing the Bucks are probably one of the best teams in football.
I don't think the frustration would have been the same as far as just being there, home opener. You know, you get there, the crowd's fired up. You're thinking, you're going to at least have something to get excited about throughout the day. And it was just from the very first play on offense, like that was it. Like they crushed you.
I think against the Bucks, you probably would tolerate, like, all right, it's the best team in football. This wasn't that game yesterday was very winnable, man. It was still winnable at halftime. Like they could have made adjustments. I was like, all right, find a way to make adjustments, figure this shit out, and maybe try to find a way to steal this game. They were in it. But I mean, it's funny. People are asking us draft questions and stuff. Like I can't even go in there. Like I just can't even do it.
Too soon.
I'm curious to see what happens with the trade deadline, though. I really am. It's going to be really, really fascinating now. Will we win a game before the bye? Well, the Falcons suck. So do we, though, I guess.
Better beat the Falcons.
Yeah.
We waking up for a live stream on that one?
I'm down.
I'll do it.
Why not? Kegs and eggs, man. Beers and
I'll cook some breakfast. Do some
Sam's ghost game was worse than yesterday. That's probably true. That was bad too. That was a bad one.
That's tough.
Yesterday was pretty bad. That's
yeah.
His first 2 passes were picked.
That's
well, Sam. You know? That ghost game came after. Was the Cowboy game after that or before that? I forget.
I thought the Cowboy game was after that.
It was after that. He bounced back.
Hold on. I gotta check.
I'm trying to think. I tried to wipe out the whole Sam Darnold memory from my head.
I think he only had 3 interceptions that game, though, right?
Was it 3?
No, it was the Cowboy game first, and then that one.
Yeah, so I think we were flying high off the Cowboy game. I think he was going to play really well, and then that happened. So that was an enormous letdown. Yeah, Quincy. This is an excellent point too. Where's Ryan's thing? Quincy Williams making some nice hard hits as well. No, he was. Defenses, they're playing hard for solid, man. They definitely are. I have no problem with them whatsoever. And I thought less of them with all the injuries they had, and they're all filling in and doing some things. But your offense is doing that, man. It's very difficult.
It's just so hard to like even get excited about anything on the defense. I just want to see good offense. We've been waiting so long for it.
Could CJ be the comeback player of the year for the Jets? If he plays at a Pro Bowl level, he can.
I mean, for the Jets, he could be. For the NFL, I don't know.
Yeah, not for the NFL. But you're right, though, Primetime. Like, you go into these games, the focus for me in every game is Zach Wilson. That's the only thing I look at. Like, I don't I was like, I'd rather lose every game 31-28 and he's playing well. I'd be happy as shit. If we're losing games we lost yesterday, it's like, man, this is just you're not getting out of the season. Then you start getting disappointed because our only glimmer of hope is finding our quarterback, which I think he has all the talent in the world, but you want to just see him improve a little bit. Rodrigo, what's up? Hi, guys. Tyson, you're 100% correct in the video today. No reason for panic. Nice to see you guys. Not panicking, man, but we're also able to criticize the team if you're disappointed and frustrated. So it's just the way it is. Like
I think by Friday's show we'll be calm again. We'll be looking at things a little more rational. But for tonight, I'm still pissed, man. Like,
I'm pissed. I won't be by Friday. I'm be all doom and gloom. The preview show's gonna be a disaster. I'm gonna. It's just I can't find any way they win the game. Franklin Myers has definitely been solid.
Too early to be in this mode.
Yep. Yeah, it's only 2 games. Like and the worst thing is they're both winnable games. Like both these games were winnable. That's the weird thing.
20 points.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Primetime. That steak was money.
Shout out to Yankee John
yesterday.
He had the marinade.
Yeah. Eli Manning versus Ravens rookie year, 4 of 18, 27 yards. No, Eli had some terrible games. They're booing him out of the building too. Mm-hmm. I guess Giant fans don't count though. Only Jet fans are assholes. I mean, Yankee fans booed Jeter. They booed Garrett Cole. I mean, it's just
Met fans booed Piazza.
Yeah, but it's just like, like Jet fans are such jerks or this or that. Like, no, this is football. This is life. This is New York, man. And this is our fan. Like, this is what we deal with. We haven't won shit in 20 years. Like, oh man. Yes, Carlos. Thank you very much, man. Nothing like having White Castle at 8:45 in the morning. Write that right down.
Outdid my sliders.
Great to meet you too, by the way. It's great meeting everybody, man. Yeah. So many. The one thing I learned about all our followers, dude, while they're awesome and all our listeners, they're awesome. They all like to drink hard alcohol. Everybody wants to do a shot. It's not let's have a beer and talk about it. It's like let's talk about this over a shot of something. Everybody.
That's why I was smart with how much beer I was drinking. I knew that people were going to be coming by doing shots. I was like, I'm not making this another Saturday night in Carolina.
Like, hey, Tyson, you got a second? No, I'm busy. Get the number shots. But thank you again. Thank you, everybody who came by. We definitely appreciate it. What we'll probably do for the next game is probably venture somewhere else. Would Carlos say like J13 or some shit?
Somewhere in J, I think he was. Yeah.
Yeah, but whatever. We'll figure something out. So Rodrigo says in Brazil, even if the team is the leader with play like yesterday, the crowd will be booing. Yeah, I mean, that's football, man. Like if you pay money to go see stuff here and disappointed and it's this bad, like this epically bad, I have no problem with people booing. I can care less.
You don't want to get booed, play better. Or at least give the fans a good home field experience. Like when it's been a decade straight of walking into that building with absolutely no return on your investment, I don't fault one person at all for expressing however they want to feel. Do what you got to do.
Like, dude, if it's like 2 interceptions, they're competitive. You can see some things, but then when it's like gross, and it's just like, listen, man, boo. I don't care. It doesn't really faze me at all.
Nope.
I mean, Jet fans have been through so much. The people insulting us now doesn't really bother me.
No.
I know the games were bad, and I did not tailgate or go to Sunday's game, but the negatives are too much. Okay, I mean, we just told you how the defense is doing all these things. We gave credit to where it's due. I mean, what do you want us to tell you?
It's not like we're not keeping it in perspective. We all understand. Like we're not calling Zach Wilson a bust. We're not saying fire Joe Douglas right now, but the early returns aren't good. Like I said earlier, like we set the bar low. They still shot lower than that, which is hard to imagine because we weren't setting expectations very high this year. But they're not competitive right now. Call it what it is.
I believe from Afram, I believe LaFleur needs to understand that all wide receivers can't play all positions. Sometimes you have to scheme for a player that can extend the field. But Afram, the weird thing is he said that. LaFleur said that in his opening press conference. Like when he started talking about like how they're going to take players and maximize their potential and put each player in a spot to succeed. They don't put the player to the scheme. They put the scheme to the player. Didn't they tell us this?
Yep.
Those were his exact words. That's what Saleh said too. They're doing the exact opposite with Mims. They're finding reasons why he can't play. It's wild, dude. Completely wild. Yeah, of course, man. Are we going to another game?
I have no choice. I already paid for it.
Primetime doesn't. So, yeah, I mean, it's an experience. We got early predictions here. You drank Jameson balls. We were drinking Jameson in North Carolina. That's what that was.
That wasn't fun.
No. Not just your niggas. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you lose 2 games in a row, disappointing fashion, it's going to be like this. And it's just the way, I mean, I think we all expected them to win, 4, 5, 6 games this year. So we kind of expect this, but it's the fashion they're doing this has been disappointing because we're all focused on the offense so much. That's what it is.
I just think also, like, if they had a history of winning or if this hasn't been a 10-year rebuild, it would be different. Like the fans would view it a little bit differently. They'd have a little bit more patience, even the media too. But like when it's so consistently bad, I mean, you kind of open yourself up to that. At some point, you got to earn the respect and prove it.
Zach was horrible yesterday, but if you look at all the rookies except Jones, they all had rough days, and that's fine.
That's
they
fair.
all can have rough days, man, and that's the way it is. That's the NFL. Still, it's not fun going through it, man. No. 4 interceptions is 4 interceptions, and it's just you get frustrated because it's not only the Patriots, but it's a home game. You want to see it, but it's winnable. The game is there to be had.
And I know you don't care, but it still hurts watching Sam Darnold play well. That still only adds another layer, I think, to the frustration.
But I can see that. I just think the people all of your supporters were all in my mentions today because they're like, I told you about Sam. I told you, I must have 75 minutes.
And that's not what I'm going to do because, I mean, trying to compare a year 4 quarterback to a year 1 after 2 games is ridiculous. But I still think, like, in the back of your mind, like the pessimistic Jeff fan that thinks the worst is going to happen, you start playing through all the scenarios. Like, did we fuck this up? Could we have possibly made the wrong decision here? And you start playing out worst case scenario. So
yeah, but we won't know that answer for another 2 years.
Oh, exactly. I know.
But that, I mean, I was like, primetime must click the button, like attack Tyson now for like 3 hours. Like every Sam Darnold supporter must have hit me up. And I told you this and I told you that. I'm like, what'd you tell me? It's 2 games, man.
Way too soon.
2 games.
Way too soon.
And it's Sam's.
But he's playing well. He's playing well.
He is. No, he is. He absolutely is. Good for him. Let's see if he plays 17 games like that. You know, it's a long season for everybody. So but I just. They were all attacking. Like primetime wants to send them all my way, bastard.
I don't talk about it much anymore. I've moved on.
Just unleashed them on me. Lawrence throwing picks too. I'm not hearing a peep from media outlets. It's because you know what, Romeo. You know what it is because the Jets make headlines, man. We're always get picked on. We're like the laughing stock. It's easy clickbait because all these guys in the media know if they say this shit, we all attack. We all go right after them and go after it. You know what I mean? Like we all react. We do all our shows about it. And that's why, you know, Trevor Lawrence is useless. I mean, he's not useless, but he's in a market nobody cares about. Nobody gives a shit about the Jacksonville Jaguars. They don't. They're irrelevant. So.
And he'll get the Urban Meyer excuse too when he walks after year 1. Goes
Yep.
to USC.
which he definitely will be doing.
Yep.
So this is something that I know Rex Ryan was talking about. Rex made the headlines today, where it's like the Jets should really do try to go ground the pound. I mean, they had 150 yards rushing. Yeah.
I mean, teams are going to be looking for that though.
Yep.
Especially now.
I mean, if you
You
can't,
don't think Denver's going to force Wilson to throw the ball 40 times on Sunday coming up?
Yep. Well, I mean, and also when your first two passes are intercepted, that kind of makes things a little bit difficult too.
Yeah.
It's prime time.
Yeah.
Did you like that L I gave you in fantasy football?
Yeah. Not off to a good start. Fantasy Russ.
Maybe are you gonna hire Jake for some?
I should. I don't know if I can afford it though.
Let's see. So next comment is, I mean, I've seen enough of Zach to know that he has a lot of talent. He needs coaching. Let's hope we hired the right guys. Let's hope, man. This is early. It's very, very early. I think we all have seen Zach Wilson's talent for sure. And then there's, you gotta adjust. Like I have a lot of faith in Sal, the way he talks about, how they're trying to handle things. He's very involved in the offense. He knows what's going on. He knows the play calls. He knows the schemes. He clearly knows what goes wrong in each play. He broke down all the interceptions. It's just,
yeah,
you gotta make adjustments, man.
I think the coaching staff can definitely help him, but he's definitely got to make some better decisions too. Works both ways.
Yep, absolutely. I mean, now they have another week to adjust and figure things out. I mean, you got Von Miller coming next. It's just and the one thing about Salah is I have a lot of confidence because he seems like he's just a football guy. He's a CEO of the team. He has a good pulse. It's just early on. It's 2 games into his tenure. It's going to take time to weed out the guys he doesn't want, which obviously Mims is one of those guys, doesn't want him.
I was saying, what was that quote that he gave 3 weeks ago? He can't wait to face adversity, or that's the true test for a head coach. All right, well, now you got it. There's plenty of adversity for you. So
he's getting a little feisty though. You can tell he doesn't like losing though. He's getting a little feisty. He's getting a little chip on his shoulder now because he's getting pissed.
Yep.
But I like that he can answer things about the offense, dude. He's not like, all right, you got to ask that to LaFleur. He comes out and says it, and he tells, listen, I'm going to work with him to figure this out. And the offensive line was a pleasant surprise yesterday. I was legitimately surprised how they played.
No,
not a good sign for Becton.
No,
there's just so many things, man.
It's not one thing; it's something else. Yep.
The one guy at the gym I saw tonight, he's like, dude, he goes, the team's better without Becton. I'm like, could you imagine? Could you look at the things that we're dealing with right now? The left tackle is hurt. The quarterback's struggling. The second round pick from last year is MIA because the team doesn't like him. Your prized possession free agents all been hurt. It's just been a disaster.
Becton's gonna ask out soon.
Man. So we got here. In all honesty, listening to Sal talk about the type of offense they want to run, I believe we drafted the wrong quarterback. Oh boy, here we go.
Oh shit!
Don't tell me Mac Jones, man, because Mac Jones has not shown me nothing at all yesterday. Zach Wilson's got a shitload of talent. I'm not going down that path. Yeah, I want to see the second part. Where is it? Let's see. Oh, yeah, he must be a slow typer.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I mean, and Zach Wilson says all the right things. So from Zach's post-game presser, I think he's got a good head on his shoulders. He says all the right things, man. He always says the right things. He's well composed. It's just he's got to play better, make better decisions, check the ball down, just live for another day sometimes.
Hopefully that comes with time and experience, just being smarter.
Yeah, I mean, good primetime game today. Okay. Oh, here it is.
So he's talking about me.
Unless they fit the system to him and he play guys like Mims for jump balls or Zach plays that they want, we'll be drafting another quarterback for another coach in 3 to 4 years. It's way too early for that take, man. I don't think Jaguars fans are running Trevor Lawrence out of town right now.
I think everybody right now is still trying to figure out what they do best and what they struggle with. I mean, LaFleur's learning about Wilson. Wilson's learning the offense. To make any declarative statements after 2 games, I think is crazy. It's okay to have some concerns. I totally get that. I do, but I'm not saying anything crazy after 2 games, though.
Yeah, no, it's so now given the situation they were put in, I was happy with the way the D played. Things have been a lot worse. Yeah, I mean, they kept you in the game, man. They did everything they could to keep the game competitive, and that was, didn't work out. Yeah, if you're looking for a positive, saying that we don't have positives, not that it matters, but on Sunday, Wilson threw the ball at almost 60 miles an hour, fastest this year. Wonderful. That's great.
Right into the hands of not a Jet player.
Thoughts on Wilson using the "we" too much on things that were his fault? I mean, I think he holds himself accountable, man. I don't think he's usually, he'll probably say the offense has to do better, but I think he takes
Hold
blame
on.
for a lot of
I'm
stuff.
getting a phone call from Tyrone right now. Should I answer this?
What?
I don't
Is
know.
that
I'm getting a
what my
call
phone's
from.
doing right now? Why is he?
Should I answer it?
What is it? He texted me too. What are we doing here?
Let's see.
It's
Yo,
9:30.
Yo, send me the link to my phone, bro.
send you the link.
Yeah.
I'll send you the link.
Come on.
We're ready to wrap this show up. He's coming on now?
I guess so.
Send me the link to my phone. Didn't we do that like an
Are you
hour
sending-
ago?
I thought we sent it to him. Are you sending it or am I?
You can send it if you want. With nothing else left to say. We did 45 minutes of this shit. What else we got to talk about?
I was gonna give him 5 minutes to rant unless you want to wrap up.
I mean, what are we
Let the
supposed
chat
to-
let the chats decide if they want to hear from him. We'll let him. come
Tyrone
on.
got
If not,
things to
we'll wrap
say.
up.
Tyrone will make things worse. Would you guys be happy if we go 0-17 this season? Absolutely not. I can't. Last year was rough enough going 2-14. I couldn't go 0-17. I'd be off the rails. We'd have like 3 or 4 different bingo boards.
Imagine the offseason fights about taking Sam Howell or sticking with Zach Wilson. That would be fun.
On the bright side, Seattle lost. They completely choked. Their defense melted when the Titans came back.
Let's get that draft pick.
Yes, sir. Tyson, is Corey Davis a true number one?
No.
I mean, I don't think so. He's probably like a high number
he doesn't need to
two.
be. Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need to be. Very good number
Let
two, though.
Tyrone talk. No Tyrone, you snooze, you lose.
That's a good point. At some point, there's got to be accountability for showing up late. I mean,
it's an hour late. Let's see. Tyrone rant. I saw Wilson sitting on the bench. He looked like he didn't care. He cares, man. Let's not get crazy here.
at least he wasn't eating a hot dog.
I'm a patient Jet fan right now. That's always good. You're gonna need it for this season, man. You're gonna need a lot of it. It's gonna be all of our patience gonna be tested endlessly this year, starting this Sunday. This Sunday is gonna be a rough one. I'm gonna need extra stuff for the stream. It's just,
I think we're all trying to be patient, but the frustration is just gonna keep seeping through until they get something right.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Free Tyrone. We did, man. It's been an hour. What do you want us to do with this guy? Freaking, this is
He's
unbelievable.
got the link and he's still not on.
Yeah, he's got like 5. We'll give him 5 minutes, and that's it.
Not even
out. Tyrone is a Denzel Mims of Let's Talk Jets. That's a very fair point. That's an excellent point. Wilson will go through the rookie motions. I preached patience. Herbert went 26 of 53, 49%, 209 yards, 0 TDs, 2 picks. Peyton Manning, his first games. Stafford, Wilson, he will learn, relax.
All right.
Jomo, listen, Jomo, everybody brings up, we've gotten Aikman references and all kinds of references of quarterbacks that start out slow. I mean, Aaron Rodgers didn't play for 2-3 years. There's all kinds of examples of quarterbacks starting slow and having bad games. Completely understand, man. We're not writing him off. It wasn't a good game. And the thing is, if he plays well next week, we're going to say he played well next week and good for him.
Yep.
There's going to be highs, going to be lows. Yesterday was clearly a low. Hopefully we can look back on this 10 weeks from now and laugh at it. Like, remember that one Monday we were pissed off? So
that's what we said. It was about the whole year. It was about making progress throughout the whole year, ending the year on a positive note. So, we're starting this slow. It can only go up from here if you want to look at it from a positive perspective.
This call pissed me off too. The fumble. Oh my God.
Sal was fucking going nuts on that. Yeah, he was going crazy.
They blew the play dead. Yeah. Oh, man, it's our luck sometimes, though, it seems. We don't get those kind of calls pretty much ever. First realistic. Bro, we're done. There he is. Now he comes on. An hour late he comes on. First realistic winnable game now is Atlanta. Yeah. I think the Broncos back there. I don't have no idea. What are we doing? All right. So now an hour late as we're getting ready to wrap it up. Now he's gonna come on. Show's over.
Show ain't never over, baby. I ain't here yet.
All right, have a good night.
All right, you do by yourself then. Take care.
I told you I was late, baby. Listen.
Yeah, late for most is like 10 minutes.
Yeah, I told you earlier. I called in early. But listen, man, I got something to say, and I need about 3 minutes, man. Listen, I'm
That's all you
sorry.
got.
Well, hold on. Let's start the clock. I got timer right here. Hold on. 3 minutes. All right, go ahead.
Listen, that whole situation we just saw last week was a shit show. I'm gonna be honest with you, man. The defense didn't lose the game. You know, I'm not gonna say the coach lost the game. I'm gonna say two people lost that game: offensive coordinator and our quarterback. Yeah, he threw 4 interceptions, bro. 4. And for
How
there's no
many?
odd reason, he threw 4 of them things. 4 of them. How the fuck do you leave a quarterback get
Hot
those
take.
4 interceptions and nobody says nothing, man? That's crazy. So all of this stuff I'm hearing about, we should have kept Sam Darnold and all that shit. Listen, my sister would be my sister had balls, she'd be my brother. That's some nut ass shit, bro. Sam is gone. It's time to move on. Yo, the kid is young. I'm not making no excuses. 2 of those interceptions, I don't know who he's throwing the ball to. There was no y'all guys was there. So I guess you saw somebody. I didn't see nobody on my
I
screen
didn't see anybody.
that was just close to that, man. It was crazy,
No,
man. So
it was terrible.
and them not pulling them out, I think was even worse. And then the offensive line, played well. The defense played great. And to watch him lose the game like that, man, it's just horrible, man. But listen, at the end of the day, he's a rookie quarterback. We expected this. And something else too that bugs the hell out of me. How is the offensive coordinator? How week 2 they know the plays that we're running? Yo, they was running their routes, man. In week 2. How is that humanly possible? Do we have the system? Is our offense that's babyfied that they figured it out already? Can anybody answer me that question?
Well, they knew it last. They knew it in Carolina too.
It's ridiculous, man. There's no way you could know the route. Listen, they were running the routes. That's why they was jumping them. It's going to be a long season like this, man. A really
So
long
Tyrone,
season.
but Tyrone, here's a question for you. Was there at any point yesterday where you were ready to bench Zach Wilson?
Shit, interception 3. Yes.
That's
Yo,
where I
look
was
here,
too.
man.
Third
Yo,
one I
come
was done too.
Yo, come sit beside me, bro. You need to watch some. Listen, if we had a viable backup, his ass would have got set. I understand he's a rookie quarterback. We're going to have some growing pains. 2 of those interceptions were absolutely fucking ridiculous. There was nobody within. I don't know who he was throwing the ball to. Like, it's crazy. So,
Yep.
nah, man. Like, yo, he should have got benched. But at the end of the day, I don't know. I'm not gonna say it's bad coaching, but it's bad coaching to a point because there's no way you let this kid stay in there, bro. When he's threw 4 interceptions, bro, and 2 really bad interceptions. The 2 tip balls, I can deal with that. But the one that was blatantly listen, it was almost to the point I'd be like, look, Zach, don't throw the ball to the guys with the green helmet on, bro. They're on your team. That shit is crazy. That
Or
was
just throw
horrible,
it to the
man.
running back. So just just dump the ball
You
off.
gotta
It was
wonder.
really bad.
You gotta
Really
wonder in
bad.
some respect, like why it's okay to hold Denzel Mims accountable for whatever's going on there,
And not hold
but
him.
but for a rookie who affects all 10 other positions out there on the field, he can't be held accountable in the middle of a game if he doesn't have it that day.
Hey, listen, I want to say this. If he would do 4 interceptions, honestly, and you may think I'm crazy, I think we had a chance to win that game.
They did, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, listen, the defense played great. The offensive line played better. So, you know what I really think happened? I think he got happy feet from last week, man. You think that? Because there's no way you're throwing the football. And you know what? It's like, man, I'm telling you, I watched 2 of those things, man. Just like, where are you throwing the football? And look, I'm not an analyst. I don't break down film. I don't do none of that. None of that. I'm a fan. And as from a fan aspect, to watch my quarterback throw 4 interceptions, like, bro, I could have took 2. That third one killed me. That last one, I broke my other phone, man. So this is crazy. It's frustrating. Listen, it's bad when Tyson calls me on the way home to rant.
I was pissed.
You know shit is bad when Tyson's like, yo, bro. And he just I couldn't even get a word. I was just like, yo, I knew he had to
can't take
somebody. It's crazy.
Because I can't take it. I can't take it. Because it's a funny thing is because like doing this show, like Kevin made a really good point. Like you don't want to come off like a negative jerk or always be like doom and gloom and this and that. But like at the end of the day, I'm a fan, dude. Like this is our favorite team. We want to see him win. We want to see him play well. And it's hard to not get pissed off. Like I was out of my between the 4 interceptions and the play calling in the fourth quarter and then the field goal, dude. I was just ready. I couldn't take it. And then I had Patriot fans taunting me. I'm sitting in the shitload of goddamn traffic. I'm like, I can't take it. Like I'm so tired of this. Like it's hard to not get caught up emotionally and just be, you know what? I'm angry. And then today you kind of recovered. Like, all right, I get it. Let's say all the keywords. Everybody thinks we're not crazy. Patience and rebuild. And it's only one game and all the other shit. But in the moment, at the game, at the stadium, I was angry as shit. And I would have no problem whatsoever him benching him in the third interception. Like, dude, not your day, man. Bring Mike White, and who cares?
I'm walking around today with my Jets hat on, and dude, like, yo, man, y'all suck. No shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, at the
But
end
see,
of the day,
I don't even walk in like that, though. That's the whole thing. Like the one guy, I forget what the guy's name. He was attacking the shit out of me today on Twitter. The Jets suck. I'm like, they don't suck, dude. They played good. The offensive line played good. The defense played good. They ran for over 150 yards. There's a lot of good things. It's the quarterback spit the bit. That's it.
yeah.
He played like a rookie quarterback. He played terrible. But the team as a whole, you don't walk away saying the Jets suck. It's just right now, unfortunately, we have a rookie quarterback that's trying to find his way, and right now he's lost.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. Like, I didn't expect 4 interceptions, and like, yo, and I'm gonna tell you something else too. Marcus May and C.J. Mosley, you know they played every fucking snap, bro. They played every single
They were
snap.
awesome yesterday.
Yo, I mean, like, what else can you ask for? Like, the defense played lights out. Yo, listen, the biggest concern we had this conversation a month ago. What was our biggest concern? Cornerbacks, correct?
Yep.
These
And the
guys
outside
have played,
linebackers.
these guys have played lights out. Lights out.
Well,
Like,
they're
yo,
going to be tested soon, though. I mean,
They're going to be tested, especially if we start to put up points and games are actually close in the second half. You're playing better quarterbacks, then they're really going to get tested. But for now, you give them credit. They've hung in there the first 2 games.
But prime time, man. It's like, listen, I mean, in prime time, I know you really into breaking down film and watching film and stuff like that. Let me ask you a question. Is there any scenario you ever heard of a first-time offensive coordinator where they really figured out what you're doing in week 2? Is that crazy to me, or am I just tripping here, man?
I was pretty drunk at that point, to be honest with you. All I know is I saw the same thing that you saw, which is that especially on 2 of those balls, there was nobody in the area. One of them, we talked about before, the safety was just camped under it, easy, fair catch. The other one was into triple coverage. I'm like, where the hell are we throwing that ball? So yeah, I mean, chalk it up to just nerves or whatever you want, mistakes. I don't know, but everyone's got to be better. The offensive coordinator's got to be better as far as just putting him in position to make better plays, to get his confidence up, quicker throws, making sure he's doing it in practice. And Wilson's got to be better, be smarter with the football, and just do those things on a consistent basis. I mean, it's game 2 for everybody. I get it, but still,
they got to self-scout too, Tyrone. They got to self-scout. I think Solid does that. Like they do a lot of research of why things aren't working out. But they got to be like, listen, why aren't these plays working? What's going wrong? And I'll keep saying it. Like I like LaFleur. I like where his background, his resume, everything else. He's super young. He's supposedly innovative. Zach Wilson gets along great with him. But sometimes you almost wish you had an experienced offensive coordinator to have that's already been there, done that, has already been through this. So now it's bad enough that Zach Wilson's learning, but Mike LaFleur's learning too, dude. He's learning how to call plays. He's learning how to game plays. He's learning how to adjust and react.
Somebody with experience. Head coach is none. Yeah. Offensive coordinator has none.
Well, they brought in Matt Kavanaugh, but that's
yeah. And it's scary
tough,
because you're watching the team run the ball really well. And it's like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, the game
I like Michael Carter a lot, man.
Yo, bro, he has some elusive moves, man. Like, yo,
he's powerful too.
Ty Johnson, was running hard as hell, man. And it's like, it seems like, man, like everything is 5, 6 yard, 7 yard digs and out plays. Yo, and then you're running the slots across the middle, man. Like, they knew that, man. Like, it was crazy. Like, yo, I mean, he had 4, but he could have 5. That Corey Davis, that first out route he had, bro. Oh boy, jumped. He should have had it. I mean,
it's like Zach could have also been amped up too. His first home game, the crowd. There's so many different things that go into it, but it's just as a coaching staff, you gotta be like, listen, man, we gotta just hold things down here a little bit. We gotta just slow it down, calm down, check the ball off. You don't need to be hero football. You don't have to make all these big splash plays to impress the fans and and do all this shit. Just keep it simple. Like Mac Jones, he didn't do a lot yesterday, dude. Mac Jones was not he's like a game manager. That's all he really was. But it won for them. Like you want a little bit more than game managing from Zach Wilson. But right now, I prefer that than 4 interceptions, man, and running around. He looked lost, completely lost.
Well, you know what's crazy? I got a friend of mine, man. Every time we go out to eat, he orders a cheeseburger, right? I said, yo, bro, why do you keep ordering a cheeseburger? He said, yo, bro, keep it simple. He said, you can't have up a cheeseburger, dog. You're going to be really stupid to mess that up. So he's like, yo, why order something that ain't going to work? What we got right now is not working. Like, we watched growth in the second half of the first game, and we watched a total debacle in the second game.
Yep.
And,
maybe there's just too much on his plate, man. Maybe they're just trying to do too much with this offense, too much on his plate, and they got to scale it back.
And what's crazy is I really saw a vast improvement from the O line. Like the O line played well. They played really well
But
compared
so,
to
so
what they did the
Tyrone,
first week.
can I ask you a question? I already asked
Yes,
prime
sir.
time because I'm just in that mood. I'm just in a bitter mood today. So Moses played pretty good on the right side, right?
Yes.
Then why didn't he start week 1 over there?
Bro, I can't answer that question. I asked you that at the game. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, you can't come to that question with me because I was more shocked than you were, bro. So, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. He played, you know what? And it seems like to me, when he came in the game, it was more stability.
Yep.
It was more veteran leadership. It was more of a field general, man. And I think, and you, bro, you seen the vast improvement from last week. Listen, prime time. Did you think that the line was going to be play as well as it did yesterday against
I
a
didn't.
vaunted
I
Patriots
definitely didn't.
defense?
I
Judon on the
definitely didn't.
outside against Bill Belichick, bro. Like, yo, I was really impressed. I mean, I really was, man. Like, they played well. Big holes for those guys, man. Definitely.
Yeah,
It's
it's so
yes.
so Tyrone. Here we go. So what did the Jets have to do to bounce back this week? Like we don't have to preview the Denver game, but I mean, right now you got to figure Zach Wilson's probably swimming in his head. Probably didn't sleep at all last night. He's probably miserable as shit, studying film like crazy. What do the Jets got to do to help remedy this offense?
I mean, prayer always works, I was told. You
I've
know
been,
what I'm saying?
Hasn't worked
Nah,
for
I
us.
mean, you know,
I've been praying for the last 20 years.
nah, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'll say something like this. I'll say that you got to keep it more. You got to keep it simple for them. You got to let them
Scale it
understand that. Look,
back.
yes, if it's not there, you know what I'm saying. Maybe a few, you know what I'm saying, in the rounds, little trick plays, but to keep it simple, man. You know, simple reads, simple throws, and that's what we thought that we were getting with our OC. Um, I think you have to run the ball, which we did. I think and you just let them know if it's not there, throw the ball away. Live to fight another down, or you know what I'm
So
saying.
what do you think, prime time? You don't. No,
I'm
not,
done.
there's no,
Ooh,
I'm
there's
done. I'm done.
nothing you do on offense to kind of help turn things around.
I mean, what do? Teams know what you want to do at this point, right? They know you want to ground and pound. They know you want to run the ball. So, I mean, what exactly do you do? You let Wilson throw the ball 40 times a game? I mean, I don't know, dude. I don't know what the
And
answer
this
is.
is another point
And
that
you wonder also too, like you wonder what they're actually doing in practice versus what they're able to execute in the game. What he's showing in practice, like maybe some of those plays he was executing in practice, and then the Patriots just threw something at them that they weren't ready for. Like, I don't know, dude.
this is
I
and
don't know what
this
the
is
answer
a.
is.
I was gonna bring this up before I forgot. There was a couple different people that mentioned analysts had mentioned that the Jets the wide receiver the routes weren't very good. They weren't very crisp, and they were getting no separation whatsoever. The receivers weren't getting open. The route trees were set up like this wasn't. It
but
wasn't
but
precise.
but at that point though, man, at that point is what that's why we got this OC thinking he's gonna be able to scheme guys open. You look at the San Francisco offense, you know what I'm saying? You see guys that are wide open. And I think something else that could help too. Like I
Prime
watched,
time.
I, I watch
You watch
more.
the
What
San
about
Francisco. I mean, that's what we were getting, right? The San Francisco offense. I thought we were
Yep.
getting that.
yeah, exactly. But see, listen, what about putting a guy like Moore in the backfield and letting them come up the backfield, match with
Where's all that
it
motion
has
that
to be
was supposed
something
to
more.
help us out?
Exactly, bro. Like
Yep.
like I said, man, it's so if he's playing like this every week, it's gonna be a long fucking season. It's gonna be
Yeah, I
a
mean, it's
long
only
season, bro.
listen, man. You're going to learn a lot about this coaching staff and this quarterback this week, dude,
Yeah.
because you've been booed, you've been played. You're probably the worst game of your career, and now you're going to be on the road against a very good defense.
Yeah.
Let's see how they adjust. How they,
And what's crazy is, like I said, man. I will say I think we got the right coach. To
yeah,
watch
he
him, to
impresses me,
watch
man.
to watch him make the adjustments they made from last week to this week, that's growth, man. I mean, that's growth. It's just like I said, our defense, our special teams, you know what I'm saying? Our O line didn't lose that game. Our quarterback did. Our quarterback threw
That's it.
4 interceptions. There's no
I'm
way
not.
you win
I'm
against Bill
not making
Belichick.
statements on anybody. The head coach, the quarterback, nobody. I'm not saying we got anybody. We don't got anybody. Like for me, every single person in this organization is in watch and see mode. Evaluate as you go. Critique them when they're bad. Give them praise when they're good. But like, I'm not declaring anybody anything yet. Like there's nobody right now in this organization that's proven a damn thing. That's where I'm at.
But
They
but
haven't proven anything, but I have a sense of confidence in Salah though,
yeah,
dude. I really do because I think I think he's got his hands on everything. I think he understands what he wants and his vision. I think he's figuring out what he. Keep in mind, he's got to figure out what he has in his coaching staff. He's got to figure out what he has in his players. Like, he's got to figure out a lot of shit. You know what I mean? Hey, listen, I hired LaFleur for this, but is this really what I want? Is this guy coaching the way I want him to? You know what I mean? Usually, there could be adjustments made, next year for all we know.
And Prime Time, let me ask you a question. Any other coach that we had prior to this shit right here, you knew it wouldn't have been no adjustment that fast, bro.
Hold on. So wait, are we already talking about potentially having Zach Wilson go into year 2 with his second offensive coordinator? Are we playing that game again?
I'm just saying right now, like you're like,
LaFleur's got to be the guy. We can't go through that same pattern again.
What I'm just saying is right now he's probably trying to figure out, like, Salah's trying to figure out how to run a team. Then he's got to try to figure out. He knows how to run a defense. He's got to figure out how his offensive coordinator is running an offense. Is that the way he likes? Is it working? If not, how do they help him fix it? There's all kinds of shit they're trying to figure out, and now it's like, it's not working.
And I'm going to give them that time to figure it out. And I want to buy in. I want to believe. The early showings just aren't good. They're not inspiring confidence right now. And again, I'll say it the third time. Like, we set the bar very low, and somehow they came in under it. Still, I don't know how. We weren't expecting a lot this year, and I mean, this is. I did not expect this bad. I expected bad. I did not expect this bad. And it's frustrating, especially season ticket holder. You got 7 more games left that you already paid for. And it's like, what are we going to be watching? Are we going to be out of it already by October? Most likely. So it's frustrating. That's all it is. You understand the long-term goals this year and everything, developing everybody, but just going through another most likely wasted year already, feeling that way after week 2, it just sucks. Man.
So Tyrone, I got a question for you.
Not to be so negative.
Tyrone, you ready?
Yeah, go ahead.
So there's a show tomorrow night at 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Can you make 8:30 Eastern Standard Time tomorrow, or is it going to be 9:30 Tyrone time? What time can you make tomorrow night?
I'll be I'll be on tomorrow at 8:30, sir.
Hopefully.
Hey, listen, man, I'll be on at 8:30, boss. I got you.
Because I will no doubt undisputedly be late tomorrow. There's no way I can make 8:30. So if you can make 8:30, you guys can start it off, bring out callers, not come on. But we need like a firm 8:30 commitment from you, or prime time is going to just blow his gasket.
Yeah, I'll be on 8:30 prime time.
100%.
100%.
All right.
I'm 85. Yeah, definitely. 85 for me is good. I'm just saying. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow, bro. I'll be on tomorrow.
8:30.
I'm stuck. Yo, listen. Yo, the only reason I got you on today. I'll be at 8:30, bro. Whatever.
Oh my God. Well, thank you guys all for joining us. We definitely appreciate it. And then tomorrow night, temporarily 8:30, but I'm guessing it's probably 9 because Tyrone's not gonna make it on time. So we'll talk to you guys later.